masters its body. Let me repeat that. A sound spirit masters the material. It's not the other way around. We got it backwards. You want to have the spiritual practices. And by the way, I couldn't function in this state around the relics. And when I told Dr. BELAIR about this, he says, you weren't prepared. Your nervous system's not prepared, because he could. He could be in both states. So, for example, if I gave him, Dr. Tiller, what's this equation mean? So it's a very linear, equation of energy and information, which is intention. You're creating information. He would answer me. And the next second, if there was a phone call that came through with a spiritual crisis, he was right there. There was no separation. That was the gift, that when you have a real masterful teacher and you observe them up close, their face is the same, whether it's an equation or whether it's a spiritual question. They are right there and they're engaged. And he told me that make meditation your core daily thing, whatever you do. He didn't say study that physics textbook. He didn't say that. He said, please, Nisha, meditate daily. He didn't say what I had to do or how I had to do it or how long I had to do it. Believe me, it is the biggest and most beautiful advice that your teacher can give you, is to sit quietly and become familiar with your own mind, its own prejudices, its own dislikes, and its own likes. Because once you are, then you are comfortable. You don't deny anything. Then you can chop wood and carry the water. Okay? And you will do it. I show up and I do my work with my patients. I hope I do a good job because I care about it. I want to care for them to show them a new reality. Prayer. You are in charge. You may not feel like that, but we will get there. What is deepest in your heart? And I'll tell you, most of the time, nobody's asked them that because they're overwhelmed. They're just surviving. The world has speeded up. It has speeded up. And so I would say medicine is now poised to make the leap. As many industries are, medicine, which is so essential to human well-being. And we need enlightened doctors, I would say, enlightened scientists who ask new questions and embrace this huge holistic way. And not just, oh, you have to change your diet. Okay. Take a supplement. Okay. But what is more? We're talking about it. We're saying there are things inside your body. We're saying you have a consciousness. We say you have heart wishes. And we say you have prayer. You are avatar in training. I'm not the authority. You are. You've always been the authority. You just forgot. And I'm giving it back to you. And many times, people don't like it. They don't like it. But I will give it back to them. We have these choices. What do you think we should do? And just give them that chance just to consider it and then help them along the way. Yeah.
Yeah, that's such an important concept because we're trained as children to accept authority, right? Everyone is outside you. It's the doctor that's the expert. It's the scientist that's the expert. It's the teacher that's the expert. And what you do in my education was you have rote memorization, the best person who can fall in line, give the answers exactly how they want, and not ask questions. You were straight A's. Now you're asking questions, you're thinking about things differently, and you want explanation, and you're probably get kicked out of the class like I was. And so this does arise a huge opportunity for a new way of being. And I think the challenges that we face in this world as we are looking outside and seeing things very upside down, if you're aware, and these last few years have really woken up a lot of people that otherwise might not have been, to say, okay, well, what's a better way? Because the way that it is going is not what I prefer. And that's why we need to engage with this power that you're sharing, this infinite power of this intention in our consciousness. And I would imagine that that intention and consciousness would be magnified when used with others. And that's how this is always going to, yeah, and that's how we accelerate the solution. So we say, oh, that's something that I don't want to participate in. What is the opposite? Point my attention
Matt,
the other way.
you reminded me of something where we sometimes, we all want to save the world. We want to, there's a lot of talk about we're destroying this planet, but the human activity, actually, the earth needs it. We need enlightened people. There's a collective consciousness at work, okay? And the more we are together in a loving way, okay, not I want to get this, I'm going to get that. No, it is really stepping into, hey, I am the source of all. Then you realize there's no shortages. We think in shortages and limitations and only a certain amount of this. There's no such thing. There was another point I wanted to make. How many people does it take to save the world? You are the chosen one. You are the chosen one. So when you realize that you and the other thing people often say is, well, what is my prayer going to do? It doesn't help anything. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Just as the sea is lifted and all the corks will float higher, your work is very important. Just your waking up and to consider these ideas that we're discussing.